Um, Obviously, we were ready to play in the first half, and we did not make the plays necessary uh, to win the game in the second half. So, I mean, that's on me. Need to close that game out and find a way to win it. So, questions?
What was the difference? First and second half?
I mean, I thought they made some great plays. I mean, one kid has two one-handed touchdowns. We I thought that was a key. Obviously we, I don't know what the penalties were, but we certainly had too many. And then obviously can't have two field goals blocked and expect to win the game. I mean, that's I've never been a part of a game where you have two blocked and win. So, I mean, that was just inexcusable. I told them, they made the plays to win the game, and all the credit to them. All the credit in the world goes to those guys and their team and Coach Shelton and what they were able to do. I think that's really a critical part too, because you can't have our last game or our last regular season game happen, and we want all the credit in the world for coming back, and then you don't give this team credit for doing the same thing. I mean, that's crazy. So obviously we had some plays that we could have made that would have made a difference in the game. That's anytime there's a comeback, and really that's anytime in any football game. So I told our guys to make sure that they shook the hand of every single guy in that room. Because in today's college football, you just never know how that can change and those sort of things. So, I told them, and that's tough sometimes, right? After a loss like that, there's some people, and I'm not going to say young men because there's some coaches and old men who would rather just put their stuff on and walk away, walk out of there and not have to deal with any real emotions and that sort of thing. But that's not going to make you a better man. So I wanted to make sure that they, you have to deal with these sort of things in life. You know what I mean? I mean, you're gonna have some bigger tragedies in this game, although it doesn't feel like it right now, even to a 43-year-old man like me. But you are, and so you better be able to look people in the eye and move forward.
There were a lot of rumbles. Kind of wonder how you prepared for whatever quarterback you did South Camp. What problems?
Well, I mean, you hear a lot of rumbles about everything nowadays. I mean, they ended up going with the other kid first, and we got the interception and caused a fumble, and so they ended up putting in Veltkamp, and I hope I said his name correctly. I mean, he's a big physical kid. I thought he ran the ball, well. I didn't think he probably. I don't even think he probably ran it as well as he normally does or wants to. But he threw the ball well, and he was able to get out of some sacks, and he put the ball in positions where his wide receivers can make some plays, and they did. I mean, I thought his wideouts made some unbelievable plays, and then we had a couple things where we had some coverage errors and things like that, and he took advantage of them, right? And I mean, so I think that all the credit in the world goes to that kid. I mean, you throw for 383 yards, you're deserving of 5 touchdowns. I mean, you're deserving of that win.
Do you think there was a sense of complacency at all with the team when you're up by 28?
I certainly hope not, but if there is, I've got to get that fixed. I don't know if there was complacency or we just you know, we just couldn't get into a rhythm there after a while, and it felt like we were always, one play off. We were 1 yard off, one broken tackle off from getting it going on offense. We were always, one missed tackle or one missed assignment on defense, and and then obviously, on special teams, we did some really good things on special teams, but we had some. If you get 2 kicks blocked, I mean, that's going to be inexcusable. I mean, especially one that, would have put the game essentially away. We would have been up by 10. And then the other one, obviously, in overtime, that, can't have that happen at the end of the game.
What are you going to remember most about the version of this year's team overall?
Obviously, it's a resilient bunch. I mean, 11 one-score games. I think I'm going to remember I've got to find a way to help us come out on the right side of more of those one-score games. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's my job. So, I mean, I'm going to remember a lot of little things, but if I'm just thinking about the season in general and this team, that's what I'm going to think about now. I mean, I'm probably, I don't know, I'm different, but as a team, I'm probably going to think about how resilient they were and how I personally wish I could have found a way to, come up with 12 more plays that maybe would have won us, 3, maybe 4 more games. So that's what I would think there. And then there's little probably memories I'll have about almost every single guy on the team. You know what I mean? I mean, so, but those are kept in a much different brain space. I mean, one's the head coach in me, and one's the guy who knows how lucky he is to be able to do this and have human interactions with, some of the best 18 to 22-year-old men that this country has to offer.
Did they do take anything specifically away
No. We just didn't finish a run. We didn't finish a block. We didn't do those sort of things. We might have missed a throw here and there, that sort of thing. Things that I don't think they really made any huge adjustments on defense, and then on offense, I thought they made some plays. I mean, they just went out there and made some plays. That's the bottom line. And we were in pretty good position on a lot of those plays. There was a couple where we had some coverage busts and things like that, which is, I mean, that's going to come back and bite you. But and those are created too. It's good play design and those sorts of things. So, but we also, we just didn't quite finish. I knew finishing was going to be one of the, the 3 things. I mean, the 3 things I thought were going to be the most important thing in the game were turnover margin, which obviously we came out on top there. Explosive plays, which I would imagine they probably came on top on that one. And then, finishing the second half. Coach Helton is now, over the last 2 years, they're 12-0 when they win the second half now after this one. So I knew that was going to be an important thing, and we just we didn't make the plays necessary in order to finish.
Ricky, this game was played on Monday afternoon. A lot of people probably didn't work. What would you say to people who play games like this?
Well, I think that's the thing I'm most worried about with college football. Everyone likes to point out all these other problems that we have, right? People are great at pointing out problems, and I guess I'm about to add another, right? But these games are important, and I'll share with you why. It's obviously the ability to play one more game, right? But it's everything that leads up to it and happens with it. We have a graduation ceremony yesterday because 2 of our young men graduated semester, and they weren't able to be at their actual graduation ceremony. And I didn't make it mandatory for anybody to come. And I think probably 60 of their teammates showed up, maybe more. multiple wives of the coaches. Didn't make it mandatory for the coaches. All the coaches showed up. Trainers were there and all sorts of things. There's probably 125 people in the room, and it was a very powerful ceremony because the guys were cheering. They were cheering on, and it was a powerful example of what is right in the world of college football. Two guys getting their degrees, their teammates genuinely caring about their personal success, families being there and being part of that. And I worry that things like that go away because of all the other things that are wrong with college football. So I guess my message on that would be this. Let's just, as a group, and I'm part of that, right? Let's not talk about everything that's wrong with the game so much that we end up losing the stuff that's right, losing the things that are great, losing the things that make this the greatest sport in the whole world. And that's genuinely how I feel about this sport. It's the greatest sport in the world. So college football is the greatest sport in the world.
Coach, wonder, probably hadn't seen him help
Yeah, I mean, he big kid, strong kid, threw the ball well, put the ball where his guys can make plays. His guys made plays for him. They trusted him, and I thought he threw, he threw almost 80% completion. He did some great things. I mean, all the credit in the world belongs to him because, all season, I don't know if excuse my ignorance on this, but I don't know if he was the backup all year or if he was the third string guy. I know he played because they ran the ball with him and all those sort of things. So I had seen him on tape, obviously a little bit, but it was mainly as him as a runner. It takes a special human to week after week prepare as if you're going to play in the game and then not play. Prepare as if you're going to play in the game and then not play. Prepare as if you're going to play in the game and then not play. Be able to keep investing that way is an incredible testament to that young man. I mean, I'm sure when Austin decided he wasn't going to play, there was part of him that was like, all right, well maybe I'll get to play. Maybe this is it. And then all of a sudden, Turner was named the starter, and that probably crushed him. But for him to be able to come in and do what he did, I mean, I hope his teammates really understand, how difficult it was that he to do what he did. Because you're a quarterback, you're not playing on kickoff return team, you're not playing on kickoff team, right? You have one opportunity, and for him, maybe he's playing in some short yardage stuff. But you have one opportunity, and for him to keep doing it over and over again, and then the only time he got in was to basically be a battering ram. I mean, that says a lot about his maturity level and really how much he cares about the game of football and his teammates.
Guys, we also have quarterback Grant Wilson and linebacker Wayne Matthews here.
Grant, what's your opinion of what's so different about?
I think just in the second half we got complacent. We were talking in the locker room. The 0-0 go out at half. It's a whole new ball game, and I just didn't think that we believed it full-heartedly. One of Coach Rahne's key points this week was finishing the second half, and we did not do that. It was obviously a huge reason why we lost the game. Yeah.
I just want to ask you about going up against that offense. Kind of a patchwork offensive line. I thought you guys got good pressure on them, but not enough.
I feel like we had a good amount of pressure, to rattle them a little bit, like you said. Like guys just needed to read their keys better, be in the right position at the right time.
Any other questions for Coach Rahne or the players?
Yeah, were you prepared for the quarterback switch, Wayne?
Oh yes. I feel like everybody was prepared for it. Towards the end of the game, towards the second half, guys got complacent, like Brent said, and them reading their keys kind of slip, and that's when they offense that made their plays.
How would you describe just the emotions?
A lot of guys are heartbroken. Obviously, it's tough playing your last football game for some of those seniors. It's a horrible experience, and I'm very lucky to have 2 more years left. And I'm heartbroken, so I can't imagine what those guys are going through. Just got to put an arm around those guys and keep them close. And then the guys are coming back next year. Just hopefully they're eager to come back and battle, come back and work through winter, summer workouts, and get ready to go next year.
For Grant and Wayne, what are you guys going to remember most about this season?
Just how close we were as a group. We started off with a bunch of different people to begin the season with. Fall camp, you were just meeting people. You were meeting new transfers. But at the end of the year, I could say that we're a family. That was the closest I've ever been with the group on offense. Never had so much fun in my life. Those guys are unbelievable. The offensive line are some of my best friends, wide receivers. Those guys, we were just so close. The running backs, all the tight ends. Just a true family out there on offense.
I can't say much more. Grant took the words out of my mouth. I was just, happy how close the team had gotten over the course of the season. I'm a big family guy, so that means a lot to me.
You've had some emotional wins, certainly some emotional losses. How does this game compare as far as how it affects you?
I would say it sucks just as much as the other losses. Treat every game the same way. It's opportunity, and we lost this opportunity. And thankfully, I have 2 more years left that I can try to win some more games.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.